I am about to make a big mistake when I renovate this buffalo lawn next week, but hopefully with this video I can give you some tips and advice to help you avoid the same problem. So let's get into it. Yes, g'day and welcome to a new video. The calendar says we've ticked into October, but what I'm feeling and how it's been so far this spring, I would not think that. We had a really crappy September. Hopefully now rolling into October, things are really gonna start to improve. But regardless of the terrible weather, I'm pushing on with a renovation here in my buffalo next week. They're gonna be showing the full thing on here, a scalp and aerate top dress and some fertilizing on here. Really looking forward to ripping into this buffalo and showing you that content. Yeah, September was quite chilly, lots of really cool breezes coming through, lots of cloudy conditions, not many days over 20 degrees. So it's been a really slow start. Despite that though, this prestige buffalo, which hasn't been fertilized since April, so almost 6 months, and a lot of that brown sort of crappy growth, that was a lot more widespread a few weeks ago and starting to get some beautiful, fresh green growth pop up and through. So despite the fact our soil temperatures have been really slow to increase and there's been no fertilizer on here, it's still naturally waking itself up, which is fantastic. But something I need to do so that I can then get to the point more so of this video is give it a quick cut. So we're mowing here at 60 millimeters, and that's what I want for this area. A nice, tall, lush buffalo lawn in between this garden and pool area. So exactly what I'm after there. This was mowed though a week ago, and this is my issue that I've got at the moment, and the mistake I'm referring to is that, far out. After being mowed a week ago, this is the growth. Far out. That is nothing. And when it comes to lawn renovations, it's what everyone says. When can we do this? When's the best time for this? And the response is always, because you never know where people are going to be commenting from, but it's when the lawn is growing its best. So for warm season grass types, we're generally talking spring and summer. For cool season grasses, we're talking early spring or autumn time. But yeah, Southeast Victoria, here we are in the second month of spring and not seeing a lot of growth there. And so you want to be doing your reno at a time where there is vigorous growth, because you're cutting it all back, you're removing that excess growth, really freshening it up. Top dressing to improve your leveling or your soil profile, that kind of thing. And then especially if you're top dressing and covering it, you want that lawn to have the growth in it to be able to push back up and through, and for that to happen in a reasonable time frame. Normally looking at kind of 3-4 weeks for full recovery. But if it's at a period of time when it's not growing well, for example, if you did a reno in the middle of winter, it would just sit there, not growing, smothered, and doing some damage. Now we'll come back to that topic in a second, into my buffalo lawn and why I'm still going ahead with the reno. First, we need to talk about something else. Overall growth in my kikuyu lawn is pretty good at the moment. Still not growing super vigorously, but it's pretty good. But something that's important to consider with your renovation and that kind of thing is microclimates. And for me, I've got this back fence line, which sits in pretty much full shade for about 3 months of the year throughout those cooler months. And so the sun was just out, but the shade line right now, it's about 10:30 in the morning, and we're starting to get sun on here now. So this area, it looked a lot more yellow and a lot barer a couple of weeks ago, but you can see heaps of weeds have moved in. It is really damp and bare and crappy, whereas you come out just a little bit more to over here and we've got much nicer growth. So this is a factor if you've got trees and shade, or even alongside my veggie garden over there is another spot where in winter it only gets a little bit of morning sun, and so this spot here, which the sun comes across and shades all of this, super bare and crappy. And so for this main back lawn, you could consider this main back lawn, which gets absolute full sun all year. This backyard, we're in Melbourne, but this backyard may as well be Sydney in terms of full sun exposure and getting all of that warmth and photosynthesis from the sun. This fence line though is more like Hobart right now. It's going to take a lot longer to come back and thicken up and be ready to be renovated. So when I actually come and do this reno in a couple of weeks, probably to about here, I'll barely touch it in terms of scalping and scarifying because it doesn't need it, it's not ready for it, hasn't been growing throughout winter. I will get nice lawn up to that garden edging throughout spring and summer and autumn, but then once that sun starts to die off again onto that spot, it'll be rinse and repeat every single year because there's just no sun on it. And there is absolutely no substitute for sun exposure, just like there's no substitute for warmth in the soil. And that's another issue we've had with this cloudy, cold winds start to spring. So even in terms of average temperatures, we've basically hit our average temperature for September in Melbourne. But those days where it is cloudy, there's cool breezes, it might say 18 degrees, but the feels like temperature is 13 or 14. And so it's just not doing anything for our soil temps. So we're aiming for about 17 degrees for soil temps for warm season grasses to be able to break down granular fertilizer. Typically I'd apply at the start of September, but here we are, far out, 14 degrees. So we're going off 9 AM as a consistent figure. It's 10:25 and yeah, 14 degrees today. So cool weather today, cool breeze. And yeah, so in terms of generating growth, I haven't been able to get any fertilizer on here. So yeah, it's been a bit of a struggle. But in terms of dealing with that, this weekend, we're looking at 23, 24 at the moment for those 2 days. So hopefully that dream comes true. Regardless, at this point in time, I was saying it throughout September, but now it definitely should be the case throughout October, is that nature's got no choice but to raise this soil temperature. So that is going to start happening in the coming weeks. So in terms of doing this renovation, as of the conditions right this second, it's a bit early, and I'd probably encourage you to wait if you have the opportunity to. In my case, this lawn is growing a little bit. I'm confident of the turn that will occur in the coming weeks, and the forecast does look pretty good. Also in my case, we've got about 5 weeks till we're hosting an event here. So I want to get my back lawn done. I'll give that an extra week and do it a week after the buffalo. So yeah, I'll get the buffalo done, and that's got an opportunity then to be repaired in time for that event. And the thing is, for some of us guys who are creating content, is that often we do things a little bit early just because we want to get it done, get it edited and uploaded so it can be out there for people to watch over the following few days or weeks, and then get themselves organized, and then they can hopefully do it at the right time. And we've kind of done it just a little bit early. Now, in terms of what you do with your lawn renovation, last thing to finish on, I had an email from a guy last night, and he was sort of saying, I bought your lawn renovation guide. I was really excited to rip in this weekend. I went to a shop to get some stuff, and they said, look, I'd just apply your fertilizer now. Couple of weeks do you scalp and scarify, a couple of weeks after that do you top dress, like give it a bit of time. And my response was, look, it's probably good advice to hold off in the spring that we're having right now in Melbourne, but you know, if you're locked and loaded, you're ready to go, you've got a busy rest of the month, you're not going to have much time perhaps to do the renovation later. If it's a yard that you don't have pets and kids who are going to want to get back on there as quickly as possible, then you know what, it's probably not the end of the world, even though it's going to be, you know, another week or so that it might take to recover than if you did it when it was warmer. We're still trending the right way and all those kinds of things that you probably can just rip into it. But definitely, if no matter what, you want to do your renovation and get really quick recovery, wait until it's growing really well, wait until you've had some fertilizer in the soil for a bit to get it kicking and growing, so that you know once you come through and scalp and scarify and all those things, it's going to come back nice and quickly. So that video probably turned out a little bit longer than I was planning for it in the beginning, but hopefully it's useful stuff for you to make sure that you get your lawn renovation timing right. It can just be a bit of a balancing act with your schedule and when you've got time and all that sort of thing. But yeah, look forward to next video where I will be renovating this lawn. Looking forward to bringing you that content and that process and the recovery. Anything you want to see with buffalo, make sure to let me know in the comments, because yeah, lots of work to happen on here. Really looking forward to it. So thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Cheers. So I'm mowing at 60 millimeters here, and that's what I want for this area. A nice, tall, nice? So we're mowing here at 60 millimeters.